welcome back to another video tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll be going over how to solve composite functions. Okay, so before you get scared and think, oh my gosh, what is this atrocity? Why are these people making our lives difficult? It's not as bad. Okay, it really isn't as bad, and I'm going to show you how you do this step by step, and hopefully after this tutorial you should be able to understand what is happening and actually not get confused, because the problem is a lot of students get confused with functions because they don't know what do I put in what. Do I put g in x? Do I put f in x? Do I put y? I'll show you the way and hopefully you guys will understand. And again, if there's anything you don't understand, just put it down in the comments and I will get back to you. Okay, so let's get straight to the question. We have two functions, f of x equals 4x plus 1 and g of x equals x minus 5. The first question is asking us to find f of minus 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because it's asking us for the f function, I'm going to first write my f of x function. Okay, so I'm going to write f of x is equals to 4x plus 1. So far so good. Are we all good? Okay, we're not, yeah, we're just writing the f of x function. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take f of minus 1, because that's the question that it's asking us. Find f of minus 1. Now what that basically means is, look at this, we have f of x. What do we have now? Minus 1. So you can see instead of x I have minus 1. So what that basically means is I'm going to substitute minus 1 wherever I see x here, right? So I can see there's an x here. So all I'm going to do, right, this is very simple, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put minus 1 wherever I see x here. So instead of x, I'm going to have minus 1. That's it, right? So f of minus 1 basically means put in minus 1 wherever you see x, or substitute minus 1 wherever you see x. So now if we were to simplify this, 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, and then plus 1. So if I simplify that further, minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. Quite simple, right? It's not as hard as you guys thought at the beginning. Just remember, whenever you have minus 1 here, just literally substitute minus 1, because instead of x you have minus 1. If you had, for example, 2, you just put 2 inside here, so you have 4 times 2 plus 1. That is it. That's all you do. Okay, now if we go to the second one, fg of x, so this is where a lot of students kind of get confused, right? This is where their brain just go like, no, I'm just not good at maths, this is not for me. And yeah, I was right all along. I just forget maths, screw maths. No, just okay, let's just wait and see how this is going to work. Okay, and it's going to be quite simple once you understand. Now when you have fg of x, all you have to do, right, is you see the second letter here. You take the second letter, so your g of x function, and you're going to put it inside your f function. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, let me just rewrite my functions here so you'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to write my f of x function, 4x plus 1, and I'm going to write my g of x function, which is x minus 5. Okay, so let me repeat what I just said. We're going to take our second letter, which is your g, and we're going to put it inside my first letter f. So what does that mean? I'm going to look at my g of x function. What is my g of x function? X minus 5. And I'm going to take this x minus 5 and I'm going to substitute that inside my f, but inside the x, right? So this is my f function, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to sub it inside wherever I see x, which is what we're doing. Take your g and put inside your f. So what that basically means is, and I'll show you again how this is going to work. I'm going to have fg of x equals, so because we're going to take x minus 5 and I'm going to put it inside here, so I'm going to have 4 bracket, instead of x, what do you guys think we're going to have now? X minus 5, right? So instead of x, I'm going to have x minus 5 here, and then this plus 1 stays here. So the x minus 5 is going to be here, right? Let me repeat that again, what I just said. So remember, we're taking our g function and we're putting it inside f, right? My g function is x minus 5. I'm going to take this x minus 5 and I'm going to substitute that inside x, wherever I see x. So you're going to have 4 bracket x minus 5 plus 1. So now all you got to do is just expand. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times minus 5 is minus 20 plus 1. And now if you simplify that, 4x and then minus 20 plus 1 is minus 19. That is how you get a composite function, right? So pretty much this is what you do. Okay, 4x minus 19. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the C, which is fg of x is equals to 3. So solving fg of x equals to 3. And then again, it's going to be quite straightforward once you see what we're going to do. Fg of x, right? Okay, fg of x. I need to know what fg of x is. But you found fg of x here already, right? From the second question. So all you got to do really essentially is take this 4x minus 19 and put it here. So instead of writing fg of x, we can rewrite it as 4x minus 19. And that is equals to 3. Let me repeat what I just said. Fg of x you already know, right? Which is what you found here from the second question. So now instead of writing fg of x, I can just literally write 4x minus 19 because that is equals to fg of x. So I can write 4x minus 19 and I can equate that to 3. And now all I have to do is solve for x, which means the minus 19 goes to the other side. So that's plus 19. So now what we have is 3 plus 19, which is 22. So x is equals to 22 over 4. And that is our answer on how to for solving this composite function. So you can see this is pretty much it, right? This is a basic kind of question, but obviously first you need to understand how to do this, right? And then eventually it's quite straightforward, because a lot of students struggle with is not actually solving the question here, but it's more of what to do in the beginning. And once you understand what to do in the beginning, everything else is quite straightforward. Okay, so what I'll do now is give you guys a question to try and do. So pause the video, try it out, and then play the video back again, because I'll actually show you the working out as well, and then see if you got your answers right or wrong. If we do A, so A is asking us to find g of minus 1. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to write my g of x function, which is x minus 9. And obviously because we want to find g of minus 1, remember what that means? We take minus 1 and we put it inside x. So that means that becomes minus 1 and minus 9. Right, now if we do g minus 1, we simplify that. Minus 1 minus 9 is minus 10. And that's our answer for the first one, for g of minus 1. Okay, now if we want to find b fg of x, which is the composite function, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our g and f. So if I were to quickly write my f of x function, so that's 6x minus 7. And if I were to take my g of x function, which is x minus 9, what we're going to do, remember, we're going to take our second function and put it inside f. So this is my second function, and I'm going to substitute that inside wherever I see x here. So all we got to do now is write fg of x is equals to 6 bracket. Now instead of x, what we're going to have, x minus 9, and then minus 7. So if we write fg of x and we expand this, 6 times x is 6x, 6 times minus 9 is minus 54, and then that's minus 7. And again, now if we simplify this, so that would be 6x minus 54 minus 7 is minus 61. Okay, and that is B. Now if we would get to C, we want to solve fg of x equals minus 6. Fg of x equals minus 6. But remember, we found our fg of x from the second question, so that's just going to be 6x minus 61. We just put that in, and then we equate that to minus 6. Now all we got to do is find x, so minus 6 plus 61. Right, so 6x is equals to, yes, I have a feeling people are just going to say my 6 looks like completely different. Okay, so they're meant to be 6. Okay, now if we to simplify this, that's going to be 55, because 61 minus 6 is 55. And now if we want to find x, we just do 55 over 6. Okay, so that is pretty much how to do this. If you got these answers, well done. If you haven't, check where you made a silly mistake. You probably made a silly mistake, and if you still don't understand, just put it down in the comments and I'll get back to you. Okay, so that will be the end for this video. Hopefully you've taken something from this video, and it has kind of given you now a better insight on how to solve composite functions and what is composite function. And yeah, that will be a wrap for this one, and I shall see you on the next one.